All right, we
All
will
right.
go ahead and get started.
Fantastic. Welcome, everybody. Tonight, we are going to explore the powerful relationship between our beliefs and our emotions and experience how a single mental shift can completely transform your reality.
Excellent. Oh, welcome, everybody. We're super glad you're here. Before we get started tonight, Jamie's got a really great game plan ready for you guys tonight, and I'm excited for you to join us. But before we get started with that, I would like to invite you guys to an event that we're doing. It's called Escape the Toxic Minefield. It's a full day. We have one January 4th here in Las Vegas and another one on January 18th in San Francisco. So you can join either one. I'm just going to play a quick video for you guys to show you a little bit more about it, and then I'll give you a website link, and then we'll get on with it. Okay? If that's all right with everybody. All right, here we go. Are you caught in the storm of your own mind, trapped in a toxic cycle that's holding you back from the life that you know you're meant to live? It's time to escape, to break free, to take control of your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, your behavior, and most importantly, your destiny. This isn't just another seminar. It's a live, immersive experience designed to rewire your mind, remove the anchors of doubt, ignite your natural born genius, and unleash the unstoppable force within you. At Escape the Toxic Minefield, you'll discover the secrets to erasing limiting beliefs that keep you stuck, reclaiming your confidence with clarity and power, build a life you own, not one dictated by fear, negativity, or what other people think you should be doing. You'll walk in as one version of yourself and leave completely transformed, not just motivated, but empowered to take massive action. So we invite you to step into a room where transformation happens, where your mind becomes your ally instead of your enemy. Escape the toxic minefield. Your breakthrough is waiting. Are you ready to claim it? Seats are limited, so secure yours now because your freedom starts right here. Your mind is the key. Are you ready to unlock it? So we're really excited about it. I'll drop the link in for you
Love
guys.
that.
You like that? Yay. Cool. And if somebody else invited you here tonight, feel free to ask them for the link as well. But either way, this works. Welcome, everybody. You
Welcome,
already got
welcome,
your
welcome.
ticket. I saw that. Ika already got his ticket.
Welcome, Iko. Good to see you. Teresa, Barbara,
It's
uh,
going to be amazing.
Andy and all, welcome, welcome, welcome. And today we're going to do a quick little education. A bunch of you, just quick show of hands. Can you hear me? You hear my voice? Oh, great, fantastic. That's good. Communication works so much better when both parties are able to hear. Uh, that's great. And we're actually going to talk about that, the communication you're actually having with yourself. So it's great if we can start with you being able to hear me, and then we're going to tap into a little bit of what you're saying to yourself a little bit later, a little bit of self-awareness, which is going to give you the opportunity to change how that conversation's actually taking place. And that'll change your experience of life, because we create our emotional reality based on our beliefs, because our beliefs actually act as this filter through which we interpret our experiences. So when we hold a belief, conscious or subconscious, it shapes how we perceive situations, offering often like triggering emotions that align with our belief. So we have a belief, we have an emotion, and we're going to support them, pop them together, because that makes us feel comfortable. When we feel comfortable, we feel safe. And that's locked into like our subconscious survival mechanism and DNA. For instance, if you believe that the world is unsafe, you'll likely feel fear or anxiety in new environments. Where conversely, if you believe you're capable and deserving of anything, you're going to feel confident and positivity, even in the most challenging situations. Tony Robbins talks about, is life happening for you or to you? Just changing that one little word, to or for. Life is happening for me. Oh, life is happening to me. You'll perceive all the same situations differently with just that subtle change. So these emotional patterns that we have, these beliefs, actually reinforce our belief, creating a cycle that shapes your reality. You have a belief, you only observe things that support your belief, that then reinforces that belief. And so it continues either on a downward spiral or an upward spiral. So just to show you how quick, just a quick little example of how your beliefs or how your past experience that created your belief actually are affecting you. Who here, quick show of hands, who's heard of this amazing little fruit called a lemon? Who's heard of it? Yep, we've all heard of a lemon. Great. Just imagine for a moment that you're holding a lemon in your hands and you put it on the counter and you're to cut into this very juicy lemon. The moment you cut into that lemon, there is this little spritz of lemon juice and lemon essence, and you can actually feel it tingle in your nose. And especially if you have a really strong emotional connection to lemons, those who really love lemons and those who really hate lemons are going to have a stronger experience to just thinking about a lemon. And in fact, I haven't gone too deep into any hypnotic process with the lemon. We just chatted about it. And you have more saliva in your mouth right now than you did when you started this call. You've had a physical, a chemical, a biological change in your reality just with a thought process of thinking about a lemon. So if you think about things that are uplifting, you're going to have a chemical shift that supports that. If you have a thought about things that are negative, you're going to have a downshift, and we're going to increase cortisol. The human being is one of those rare and only creatures that can use its imagination to create fantastic things and the reverse. We can actually imagine the worst possible outcomes, and we can change our physical chemistry with that. And we can lead to stress and heart disease and cortisol, all these other things. So our beliefs are primarily created through early life experiences like repetition and social conditioning. As children, we actually absorb information from our environment, including our family, culture, and significant events, often without questioning it. If an adult says something, they are like a god to you when you're a little toddler. They're like, money doesn't grow on trees. Okay, the word has been spoken. From now forth, I shall live the life that money is hard to get because of one emotional outburst of a potential parent. This is an actual case that Amy and I helped a client with work through. They're super successful now. They were super successful, yet they couldn't see this one little limiting belief. So we often live a life without questioning it from our early childhood and accept all these beliefs as real. That's why if you have the luxury, like Amy and I have, to live and travel to different countries around the world, you'll see a different, and you'll actually even experience a different set of beliefs that are culturally accepted as the normal way life is, or the natural way life exists. Yet it's actually a construct that has been created and repeated through generation and generation and generation. Who, quick show of hands, who has traveled outside of the country that they live in? Yeah, we'll see. Oh, great, fantastic. Oh, we've got a room full of well-traveled people here. That's nice. So, that's awesome. So you know what I'm talking about. You're experienced the world travelers, and you've seen different cultural ways people go about stuff. Now, as a child, for example, if you were repeatedly told that you're not good enough or witnessed others being treated poorly, you might internalize these beliefs. Additionally, emotionally charged experience, whether positive or negative, actually imprint deeply on the subconscious mind, solidifying certain beliefs. And over time, these beliefs operate like subconscious programs, influencing how we think, how we feel, how we act, often without us realizing it. And breaking this cycle requires awareness and intentional effort to reprogram First, there's awareness, then there's the reprogramming of the limiting beliefs, turning them into empowering ones. So we're going to do that a little bit in a second. And just a quick little moment. When I was talking about the lemon, who realized that they had extra saliva in their mouth? Well, quick show of hands. You saw that? Got some head nods. Yep, yep, yep.
I don't know if you saw my comment, but Max and I just came home from the store, and amongst random things, just kind of wrapping up things for Christmas, I'm like, oh, lemon would really brighten that soup. So, I mean, it wasn't like middle of the summer and I'm always having lemons at all. So I just like in the last hour bought lemons. So yes, definitely felt that.
Oh, wow. Right in alignment with tonight's teaching then. Or
Always,
education.
it seems.
That is awesome. The interesting thing is we've done this with thousands of people over the years, just the little lemon exercise. We usually carry it on a little bit longer. And we'll do like a show of hands. Who here loves lemon right at the beginning? Who hates lemon? And then we go, who doesn't really care about lemon? People put their hands up and go, okay, who had a lot of saliva? The people who loved it and hated it have more saliva. It's not whether you like it or dislike it, it's the degree of emotional charge that you have connected to the belief that's making the impact on you. So that's why some people can have a whole bunch of negative beliefs, but they have a strong emotional charge with it, and they're still able to overcome obstacles and achieve something because it's the energetic charge, the depth of the belief, their emotion attached to it that's actually driving a lot of the behavior.
And I'd just like to point out as well, the fact that you had a physical reaction in your body from something that wasn't real tells us that we have physical reactions in our body from the things we make up in our head and the beliefs that we have in our head that might not even be real. No, or they might have been given to us by somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot of work with like limiting belief structures and also inherited beliefs, because an inherited belief is some emotional belief that some forefather, someone down your lineage had, and it's then coded in their DNA. So someone can have a very terrible, emotional, heartfelt breakup, and then they go, oh, like 100 years ago, 200 years ago. And in then they're like, oh, I never want to feel this way. And so they put up all these belief structures to protect themselves from getting hurt. And in that protection, they create a belief that having relationships is a bad thing and I'm going to protect myself from it. They put up these barriers and they code it in their DNA, which then gets passed down from to offspring to offspring to offspring. And then here you are going around saying, why can't I never have a successful relationship? Because you're carrying the belief within you that relationships are going to hurt and harm you, and you need to protect yourself from them. Deep in the subconscious, in the same way that you have more saliva from just someone chatting about a lemon, if you have a limiting belief, it's going to act on your behalf to protect you, even though it's counterproductive to what your neocortex, the thinky brain up here, is doing. It's like, I want a wonderful relationship. I deserve a wonderful relationship. But deep inside, you're still going, oh, relationships are painful and you shouldn't have them. And so that juxtaposition can create chaos in your life, and that can create stress.
A really fascinating example of how we pass things down in our lineage and even subconsciously, because it's literally written on our DNA code. And so I was adopted. I was given up at birth, and I was raised by two wonderful adopted parents. But I found my birth family about 10 years ago, and I'm also very close with my birth family. My mom, I found out, so now I have three older brothers and one younger brother. I was the only girl she had. My mom was given up. Her mom was given up. And it was only the girls that were given up throughout our lineage. And my mom happened to have three brothers, three boys with her first husband. She had an affair. I came out of that affair. And she went into a big depression, and then she met a new guy 2 years later and had another son. So it's not even like a conscious thing. It just so happened to be the girl got given up. And it's just in the DNA code. But I stopped that cycle. So I kept my daughter. So yeah.
And just talking about that genetic work, stuff being passed down, I did some work with Amy in regards to inherited beliefs, and that came up. And when we removed that limiting belief from Amy, because it was an inherited genetic belief, her relationship with her daughter greatly improved because there wasn't this energetic subconscious belief frequency in play anymore between their communication. So it's a great thing to get rid of it when it doesn't belong to you. And also, especially if it's interrupting or interfering with any of your current communications or relationships. So right now, today, I want to guide you through a quick 5-minute exercise to help you personally experience how your beliefs shape your emotional reality. So if you're driving, don't close your eyes. You can listen, but you're probably get a much better effect if you're able to sit and relax and close your eyes. So just to give you a disclaimer, if you're driving or operating machinery, this is not something for you to participate in, but for everyone else, it's going to be great. It's just a quick little exercise. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for having your camera on. It's really great to see people's faces when you talk. Otherwise, I feel like I'm talking to a mirror that's not switched on. Even I can't see myself. Oh, there I am. But it's good. Okay, so to get ready for this, just make sure either sit or lay down, have your feet flat on the floor, uncross your arms and uncross your legs. I might have talked about that in a previous thing. Amy and I talked about crossing the body and how that crosses energetic meridians and can affect the flow of energy. So, yeah, just get yourself in a nice, comfortable position, uncross your hands, uncross your legs, and just start to be aware of your inhale in the nose as you fill up and your exhale out the mouth. As you inhale in the nose, put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth and just relax and let the exhale go out. So we're just going to slowly inhale in through the nose, filling up the body, and then slowly release the exhale out the mouth. Slowly inhale, filling up the body. And if you haven't done so already with this next exhale, just let your eyes close down and become perfectly safe and relaxed. Now, as you do this, just let go of any and all tension in and around your being. With your next inhale, lift your shoulders up to your ears. And then with the slow, long exhale, just let your shoulders drop down and relax. Ah, wonderful. Just notice your breathing in and out for the next moment or two. Notice your breathing is much like the ocean with the waves coming in and out. With your slow inhale, which fills up the body, pauses at its peak, and then the slow exhale, which follows, releasing all the hidden tension from this moment. As you go, just breathing in and out, nice and relaxed, safe and at ease. Now, in a moment, just think of an area in your life where you feel stuck or challenged. Now, think of an area in your life where you feel stuck or challenged. And the first thought that pops into your mind, just one area, see it clearly. You can do this again later as many times as you like. For just now, just one little area, one way in which you feel stuck or challenged. Just for now. Just think of an area in your life where you feel stuck or challenged. Now, this could be in relationships, career, your health, or anything else. Now that you have that one moment, ask yourself, what do I believe about myself in this area? What is the belief I have about myself in this one area? As you contemplate that for a moment, just create a simple, short sentence of the underlying meaning of what you believe about yourself. Take a moment to notice the thoughts that come up. Often people have said things, something like, I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve it, or even it's too hard. There's no judgment, no emotion, just awareness, just awareness, just your thoughts. Just observe them. Now ask yourself, how does this belief make me feel emotionally? How does this belief make me feel emotionally? Tune into your body. Do a mental scan of your body right now. What sensations do you notice? Is there any tightness in your chest or heaviness in your shoulders? Perhaps you notice something more generalized or a sense of anxiety. Just take a moment to fully acknowledge to yourself and experience the emotions connected to this belief, which is just the thought that you carry with you. In a moment, you will imagine this sentence is written on a piece of paper, just that one simple limiting belief on a piece of paper, like a flyer that's pinned up somewhere on a notice board or a message board or a pole or somewhere else, perhaps the fridge. So see that flyer now with that limiting messaging belief shown on it. There it is, written nice and clear. In a moment, you will take this piece of paper down and turn over the flyer and see that the back of the flyer has the opposite written on it. So right now, in your mind, reach out, take down the flyer and turn it over and see or create a positive, opposite, empowering version of that belief. Just see the reverse side of the flyer or create it. Think of something that feels uplifting and true, like I'm capable, I'm worthy of love, things can work out for me. Whatever the opposite is, see it now on the reverse side. Just choose the one that resonates with you. Now, silently or out loud, repeat this new belief a few times, as if you're reading it. Just simply state the opposite of the limiting belief that was on the reverse side. And as you do, imagine what your life feels like as this new belief expands and resonates in your cells, instantly becoming completely true. Your word has power. And as you do this, just imagine what your life feels like as this belief expands and resonates in your cells, instantly becoming completely true. Notice any emotional shifts, feeling a sense of lightness, hope, and relief. Let yourself fully experience that growing and expanding joy. And as you do this, start to notice that a smile is emerging on your lips. As you continue to repeat and feel the new positive and empowering statement, you become aware that the writing on the back of the flyer is actually fading away. The old limiting belief that was originally facing out on the flyer is completely fading away. The bigger you smile, the quicker it fades. The bigger you smile, the quicker it fades, fading away, and it is completely gone as you smile bigger and bigger, happier and happier. This is beautiful. Just feel it in every particle of your body. Now, in a moment, you're going to pin the flyer back up where you got it, with its now clear and clean back, going back up and putting it back where it was before, yet with the front facing out with the new positive belief for the world to see, with the positive, uplifting, empowering version shown out for the whole world to see right now. As you continue to read and feel the positive message on the flyer, reach up now and put the flyer back. put it up nice and secure where it was before, and notice how good it feels to see this beautiful, empowering message deep inside yourself and on the flyer being shown to the world. When it is pinned up, just say to yourself, this is done, and so be it. And now, with your next inhale and exhale, allow the smile to stay as you just become aware of yourself being here and now. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and welcome back to this present moment. This is just a small shift, just one example of how our beliefs affect our emotions. Every single one of you had an emotional shift, a short little journey of emotion. And the more you focus on empowering beliefs, the more you'll see lasting changes in your reality. Now, every limiting belief we have also has on the flip side an empowering belief that we're not brave enough to step into out of fear, or we are not eager to step up because we're concerned about what will other people think if I live my life with the opposite empowering beliefs. And it's deeply rooted in our midbrain, in our mammalian brain, this fear of what other people think. And society is constructed through a safety network of let's keep everyone safe, let's keep everyone together. If you step outside of that, there's potential fear of being an outcast. And yet it's stepping outside of the moderate norm is where all your success and happiness lies, that you don't currently have. It's not to say you can't have success and happiness where you are. Yet if you want more of it, you have to step outside of the fear of what other people may think if you start to experience more of the joyful or success elements in your life. So that was that quick little does anyone have any questions or something they want to share about their experience, about what we've talked about so far tonight, or their experience?
I wasn't able to see the message. I remember the image on the flyer, but not the actual message.
Oh.
I started with the S, so I don't know if it's soul something, but I can visualize right now. I almost fall asleep.
Very good. Well, you can listen to the recording and go through it again. And before, if anyone else had that experience, just ask yourself in those moments, subconscious mind, please reveal for me what I'm seeing, what I'm not seeing. Or subconscious mind, you can actually talk to your subconscious mind and directly ask it questions. And when you clear out a bunch of the debris, you can directly ask your subconscious mind and get very intuitive insights in the moment of a lot of things that you're doing and going. Yes, Amy?
Also, you said you saw an image, so do you know what the theme of that image was? That might be a clue.
A face of a woman sideways with like flowers on their head or something. Yeah.
Well, what does that mean to you though when it relates to limiting beliefs?
Oh, maybe I envisioned to be there.
Maybe that's what's on the other side of your limiting belief.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
Very good. And just there's no real wrong answers here, folks, because it's a personal journey into self-discovery to find out how can it be better. So we don't look at what's wrong. We look at how can this be better. So thank you very much, Kelly, for sharing. Yes, Barbara.
How does it? One time, a friend of mine introduced me to a past life regression kind of exercise, and that was absolutely fascinating. And it goes right along with what you're saying, that it's in our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, whoa.
That is very interesting. There's Dr. Bradley Nelson who created the emotion code and body code and belief code. Great guy, fabulous. He was saying in one of his teachings, because he was teaching this large event, and someone brought up the subject of past lives. And he goes, well, here's the thing, because some of the people go, well, I don't believe in it. And some people, I do believe in it. And he goes, here's the thing, whether you believe in it or not, if your subconscious is bringing up that communication in that way, it's something worth having a look at. So I myself, who have actually died twice, when I was a child, drowned, and then internal bleeding when I was 18. And the doctors were like, well, the body's gone. Should we bring it back? Well, let's see. So for me, I've had personal experience of something other than just the physical existence. Yet that was my personal experience, and I can't speak for that for everyone. Yet I do know that our emotional beliefs do change our DNA. So whether it's you or forefather generations up has had a strong emotional belief, the epigenetics and the changing of our DNA takes place, and that can affect us in the here and now.
Yeah, I did the exercise several years ago, and in the past life regression exercise that we did, and then you kind of wondered, gee, was it real or was I just imagining it? But I was a prisoner in a dungeon in like the 1600s. And when I came out of it, it was like I was a new person. There's something had left. Heaven knows what it was, but I choose to believe that it's like, ooh, yeah, that really did happen to me back in the 1600s. But I was in a dungeon, and I could describe totally the dungeon. I was in chains.
Yeah,
it was
a
so
very interesting study, and if anyone is curious about this, we can definitely dive into it even more. And I encourage you to go and check out all the knowledge and information out there. And YouTube's a great resource for, hey, now, of course, there's people in all different spectrums that are sharing their information. Yet if you look at enough of it, you'll start to see some common threads. I was with a group once that were all sharing about what they experienced in their near-death experience, and we're all sharing the same information. And I'm like, well, we never met before, and now here we all are talking about the same kind of experience. So I found that was very reassuring in that regard.
And Barbara, I did a past life regression years ago in LA. And it was really fascinating because this lady had a really thick accent, and I thought, there's no way I'm gonna go under. This isn't gonna work for me, I was thinking.
Right.
Man, it was like 4 hours, and it's like, to this day, it's still super vivid.
Yeah.
What was wild was I was a soldier, and I was in a pit of a bunch of other soldiers that were just bodies. Like, most of them were bodies, but there were a few of us that were alive. And I was screaming really loud, and I didn't have my legs. My legs were gone. And there was another soldier that was there holding me, and it was my adopted mom in this last life. And what was interesting is that I was a dancer, and I was a professional dancer, but my mom didn't want me to do that. She wanted me to be a doctor. But it used to make me so angry. She would say to me, "But what if you lose your legs?" And I always just thought, like, what a horrible thing for a parent to say to her kid, right? But then, like, that completely healed our relationship at that point, because then I had some understanding for why she would say something like that. And it made sense. And, like, maybe I made it up in my head. Maybe, who knows? But whatever, the outcome of that was that my relationship with my mom was completely different after that.
Right. Yeah, that was me. It was just, I knew something had left.
Yep. Yeah.
I knew something had left.
Yeah.
So mine, I'm going to share, and I've not done a regression thing, and I don't know how I feel about that. First time I'm hearing about it. So this is all new. My invitation to this has been, literally, I said this to Barb today, it's a little woo-woo, even for me, but I can't deny the not one experience, but two, even though you only know about one, and it was when you told me about my grandmother, and it made so much sense when I linked it to a current day conversation with a family therapist that I went to. I'm like, what is going on with my sisters? And it was all linked to Cinderella and her sisters and jealousy. Well, the next day, so that's what we all had a live experience with. I think Kelly, you were on the call, but your face wasn't on because I don't recognize you. But the next day, I had this. I've always joked that, I know things. Like, I just, if I could control it, I could win the lottery. Like, oh, that happened. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I just didn't know I knew. But when we were watching like the Salem witch trials and stuff, like my husband and I look at each other and he's like, oh yeah, up in smoke. I'm like, right? Like I know it. But I think of the things that have happened in my life, like from even at 6 years old, I took a candle out of the bathroom in Dallas. And so that I wouldn't burn myself, this little girl took a Kleenex and put it around the candle to keep from burning my hand, which then, of course, it burned my hand anyway, caught the Kleenex on fire, and I put it in the sink. Thank God, not the plastic shower curtain, but I blamed it on my sister, who to this day, we don't have a good relationship. But I know now why. But the things that have happened, I mean, I almost burned a house down in Monterey, like a rental, like the things that have been fire related in my life. I didn't even have that epiphany until the day after we talked. And I'm like, whoa, it was like a 1-2 punch of things going back.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's
true.
just my little mind.
Yeah. And the more that you, thank you so much for sharing, Andy and Barbara, because the more that we acknowledge these moments, we're actually telling our midbrain that this information is relevant and I'm open to observing or experiencing it. Now, I was fortunate enough, 18 years of age and dying, and then coming back going, whoa, life is totally different to what I thought it was. And then going on a journey with people that had other experiences and shared those insights with me. And I was at a space at that point where I was open to go, what else is there? What else can I be aware of? What else can I learn? And also I was raised in an environment where, in a very arts community, where you're like, hey, I just saw a dragon. Like, that's interesting. What color was it? As opposed to dragons don't exist. You're like, was it a happy dragon? Was it a sad dragon? So imagination and creativity was allowed, in which case my reticular activating system, and this is what they've shown in science, that when you have a set belief, you will disconnect from evidence that's contrary to that belief.
Right.
So there are really things in your environment right now that can support and help you. Yet if you don't believe you're worthy, you will not see them. Like when I can't find my example. Here we go. Car keys. How many times have you been in an emergency to get somewhere and like, keys? Someone walks up and goes, they're sitting right in front of you. Like, oh, when did they get there? You can't see them because you've got an emotion, a high emotional belief that you can't find. And that's what you say. I can't find my keys. I can't find my keys. Can someone help me find my keys? I can't find my keys. And the reality is they're right in front of you, like many other opportunities, yet you're not able to engage or act upon them because you literally are taking yourself out of the opportunity more so than anything or anyone else. So
one time I was talking to a friend of mine and we were just having an intense conversation and it was emotional. It was just about somebody else. And I'm like, I can't find my phone. Where's my phone? She said, you mean the one you're talking on? And I was like, oh, right. Couldn't find my phone, but in that second, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then we keep repeating it, which keeps reinforcing that you can't find, like, we're like, I can't find my key. I can't find my key. So you're reinforcing it that you can't find it. Yeah. And it just, it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Yep. This is why, this is where sexism and racism and a lot of things have their strength in. Like, for example, this is an example. I've actually been in a car with someone like this, a man driving down the road, and all of a sudden some female driver cuts him off and female drivers. And I'm like, 3 other cars have cut you off. He goes, oh yeah, but those guys had somewhere to be. Like, The exact same situation has happened 4 times, except the one time it matched your belief, did you support the observation by pointing it out? So yeah, this is happening all the time in our life, and this is what the event on in Vegas is going to be about as well. It's like having this kind of little snippet, but in a whole day's experience, learning not just about the body, but also learning about the mind and learning about the spirit in such a way that you can go away from that event at the end of the day empowered with more potentials and opportunities to support yourself in anything you want to do in your life.
Think of it like as a shower for your mind, your body, and your spirit. We're gonna take a shower. I like what Eco said here too. He said, and the non-judgmental universe responds to those beliefs, saying, "Here is more of that experience that you're focused on."
Absolutely
Isn't that the
correct,
truth?
Eco. Thank you for sharing that. That is so true.
Yeah. And the way I look at it too, Andy, is like it might be a little woo-woo, but at the same time, if it gave you a result, who cares?
Well, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I'm acknowledging it because if I send it to you and I don't say it's a little woo-woo, you're gonna go, that's a little woo-woo. It's like, no, I know already, but listen. Okay, and I have one more thing to get off my chest and see if it would. I've thought it more than once and it doesn't go away, which makes me think when I was, and I can't remember the training it was in. I just remember I was married for the first time. My last name was Gray. My life was very gray, I felt. And it was something he said, he used the thing like who would you walk the I-beam for? You know, the I-beam, if you're out in a huge skyscrapers, there's little I-beams. Like if you had to like, okay, you know what I'm talking about, who would you walk? And I'm like, oh my God, like there's nobody in my life I would walk the I-beam for. I mean, like my parents, but like I was in a bad marriage, right? So that, which ultimately is who would you die for, right? I don't know if you ever saw the Demi Moore, this is where I go a little wacky, but the Demi Moore movie that was The Seventh Sign, and she's standing there holding a pot, and literally, would you die for him? Would you die for him? Well, she eventually drops the pot. Like, would you die for him? And I feel like I've been there. Like even giving birth to him. I mean, there was a moment where if we had chosen to do that at home, neither one of us would have made it. You know, so I feel like that would you die for him thing has played before for me. Now, I've never been a soldier, like I've never even come close to something like that. But we've just watched The Chosen, and I'm like, oh my God, that feels like me. Like I'm not positive it was me. I had some friends say she felt like she washed the feet of Jesus. I'm like, okay, well, I can't say that I did that, but I know that I would have been there, and I know what I would have been in the middle of it, you know? So who knows? I mean, who really knows? All I know is the last thing my dad said was there's more, there's so much more.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, totally. So
Yeah.
totally.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We haven't
That
even
was
scratched the surface of human intellect, of
Yes.
what's possible to envision.
Absolutely. There's so many more great potentials out there.
Yeah.
And it's the brain that goes, well, what else is possible? And this is why I like to encourage everyone to look at how can this be better or how can this be improved rather than this is wrong or that's bad or that. It's like, yeah, I agree. Some of that stuff is not very good. And how can it be better? When we face our thoughts in the direction of how can this be better, we actually are teaching the brain to see other opportunities that support the better outcome. When we sit there and go, this is terrible, it's like, well, the brain goes, okay, find all the reasons why it's terrible. And
Why
it will
it's
line
terrible.
all them
Right.
up for you, and you'll reinforce that belief. What's it called? Cognitive bias, Amy? Is that?
cognitive bias. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cognitive bias. We have a lot of biases actually. We have biases around um uh it's been proven even in like tons of court cases and stuff like that. Like um if somebody kind of looks like us, we're already biased towards that person that they're good and they're telling the truth, right? Um we see it in tons of beliefs are bias, right? And when in behavior profiling, which is what Jamie and I study, that's the first thing we have to look at in ourselves is where's our bias, because you can't have any bias if you're profiling somebody or you're going to read it wrong,
Right.
right? So you have to really come in with a very clean slate. But most of us have these natural biases. So it to be start being aware of, oh, I have the potential to be biased in this situation, is can be really healthy. But it's cognitive dissonance is where we're completely disconnected,
Mm,
where our behavior doesn't match our belief. And so this is kind of where gaslighting can come from, is the person might be gaslighting themselves as
Mm.
well, meaning they don't their behavior doesn't match their self-image of themselves. And so when you go, hey, you did this thing to me, it doesn't match their image. And so they're no, I didn't do that. I didn't behave that way. And you're just like, you know, it's
mm.
gaslighting is kind of crazy making, but that's what's happening. They're doing cognitive dissonance on themselves. But we
Right.
can have cognitive dissonance if we like an actor or an actress or a politician or whatever. We can have that dissonance where their behavior doesn't match the image of who we think they are. And so we don't see the behavior.
So one of the first steps in saving yourself or keeping yourself safe from all of this going on is self-awareness. So
Mhm.
being aware of what you're bringing to every situation, every moment, and the fact that everybody has it. We're all human beings that have been raised in a cultural set of beliefs, and we've all had one of our trainers, our mentors, says there's four laws of human behavior. Chase Hughes, he's got so many credentials, but he's recognized as one of the leading human behavior specialists on the planet right now. That's really good. He even has a special Pentagon phone. They reach out to him and he was teaching us, and he goes, "Oh, hang on, that's the Pentagon phone. Where's my?" Oh, and then he picks up, and we're like,
He's going to show
"Oh,
us an
back
app
up.
and
What's? Tell us a
yeah.
little more about that." But he says there's four laws of human behavior, and the first one is everyone is suffering.
Right.
And
And
insecure. Everyone is suffering and insecure. Everyone, every single one of us on the planet.
mhm.
And
And
this, go ahead.
go with the next one, Sammy.
And the second law is that we're all wearing a mask,
Yep.
which if we weren't, I wouldn't have bothered to put on makeup today. Even that's a mask, right? Um, we're all pretend that we're not wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're all products of our childhood suffering and rewards, meaning that who we are today, our whole personalities, how we're made up, is based on how we were treated as children
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and the beliefs that we developed. I know.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy's probably looking at her kid going, I'm sorry. I've had that conversation with my daughter several times. But you know what? It's not that you're a bad parent at all.
Mhm.
It's just that like no one gets out unscathed. No one gets out unscathed on their parenting. It doesn't matter. And we do the best that we can with the information that we have. And
Yep.
it's okay to have new information and accept the fact that maybe we could have done better.
Good
Yep.
and better.
But we did the best, and that's okay.
What I'm
And so
loving
did your
about having
parents.
Max here is he's a psychology major, a freshman in psychology. And I'm like,
Ah.
how are you feeling about all this? Because I love that that this is giving him angles different from university.
Oh,
We
you should definitely
actually
check out
interview.
Chase Hughes then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Check
Chase
out
Hughes.
Chase Hughes, HUGHES.com. He's one of the leading experts in human behavior. He's a behavior profiler. He actually wrote the exams for the behavioral analysis unit for the FBI. And that's the exam that I just passed.
Mhm. And
And
he's on a with a couple other behavior specialists um called the behavior panel. Is it the behavior panel?
it's the behavior panel on YouTube. And
Yeah.
the four of them get on and they're all like kind of versed in interrogation and that whole world. But they get on and they'll actually break down the body language of stuff happening in the news and different stuff, and it's really good. You'll learn a ton from it. I absolutely love that show. That's how I discovered Chase. It was
Mm.
funny because the four guys were on the panel and I was like, that guy's my next coach. And I wonder if he's got a book, and I googled him and he's got a book called 6 Minute X-Ray.
Yeah, 6 minute X-ray is really good about observing how behavior is happening in other people, and within 6 minutes, you will know them better than their closest family members do, because you're observing what's behind the mask as opposed to reacting and reinforcing to the mask. So that's really great. In fact, we actually interviewed as a cognitive psychologist today on our
Oh, she was
Mindfield
fantastic.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems to be a day full of this information.
Day full of cognitive therapies and cognitive psychologists. Eco said, could you please re-say what the fourth one was? Yeah, the fourth law of human behavior is that we are all a product of our childhood suffering and rewards. So if you think about how we function in the world, our brain is designed to look for threats and rewards, pain and pleasure, right? But most of us, and this is also according to Tony Robbins, most of us will run from pleasure before we'll run from pain before we'll run towards pleasure. That's why in a lot of sales, you'll see people kind of turn the volume of the pain up, because more people will be motivated to get away from pain than they are to have a goal that they're reaching towards.
And it's actually, I was listening to a training this morning in this association, and I can't remember what the phrases are called. My apologies, but it's kind of like negative reinforcing. But we have a wrong bias. For example, the way it was described: your ancestors walking along in the forest and sees a big rock and mistakes it to be a bear. Their emotional state increases. They're very careful. They skirt around this big rock and go, oh, it's just a rock. But they survived, so that behavior is ticked off as okay. We can keep that behavior. The next one's walking along and sees a bear and thinks it's a rock. Yeah, it's just a rock. Doesn't survive. So our brains have been trained that you can be wrong in a way that keeps you fearful, yet you survive, and that's okay. And so then that's reinforced in our behavior and how we observe things. We're looking for the threat, we're looking for the danger. And so then if we have been raised with a limiting belief, we'll reinforce that limiting belief from the aspect of fear and survival, which deeply emotionally connects into our midbrain and our actions, because we're basically puppy dogs that can speak a language. Our brain is emotional, and then we're like, here's this thinking brain, like a 5-year-old, that goes, well, the reason we're doing that is because of but we're happening emotionally first. So most of the nights what we'll do is we'll do this little experience, and then I'll do kind of an emotion code or an energy healing. We've only got about 8 minutes left, so we've kind of jumped past that opportunity. But
why don't we do a quick self-healing with people? Just a quick sweep with their hands, because we taught that before. So we'll do that.
Okay. Do you want to lead it, or?
Sure.
Okay. I've talked so much tonight already, I feel. Everybody, my co-host for tonight, have a guess which one, because
all right. So we're going to talk about energy really quick, and I'll just do this. So just push your hands here.
Palm of your hands on either side.
Yeah, just activate the palms of your hands. You have little chakras here. And then I want you to just kind of feel like this and see if you feel any energy.
Feel pressure between your hands.
Between your hands? Okay, cool. So now I want you to hold your hands out like this. This is kind of interesting. Hold your hands out like this. And in one of your hands, I want you to say apple. Apple, apple. There's an apple. There's an apple, 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 apple in my hand. There's an apple in my hand. Now hold both hands up. Is one heavier? Not weird? Okay, now go disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate. Now fill your hands again. Even again? That's energy. Go ahead, Jamie.
Yep. You created an energetic thought form, which is totally related to what I was talking about right at the beginning of tonight. All these limiting beliefs in the conscious and subconscious are thought forms that are affecting the physical experience of your existence. Okay.
Okay, so now I want you to just take your hands and I want you to visualize big, giant white gloves, just big, giant white gloves, big, giant, bright, make them brighter, make them brighter.
Bigger and brighter, bigger and brighter.
Bigger and brighter, bigger and brighter, bigger and brighter. And make sure it's a cup like this. And then we're just going to take our hands and we're going to start at the top of our head. And we're just going to, yep, and just visualize that light and those big gloves going all the way through your body and just picking up all the junk, all the negative energy, any thought forms that are yours or somebody else's, and go all the way down to your feet and visualize a green fire next to you and visualize all the negative energy going into that green fire. And then you can say disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate.
Disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate.
Okay. Now we're going to start right up here and we're just going to do one all the way down our arm, just cleaning out the arm. Does that feel good? I think it feels good. Dump that in the green fire. I'm going to do another sweep here on the arm. Excellent. And then come up underneath. Get that armpit. Everything. Just visualize that white light going all the way through and just cleaning your arm. Disintegrate, disintegrate. We're going to do the other arm. Up. All the way down. Into that green fire. Just visualize that light going all the way through your arm. All the way down. Make sure we get under our armpit and under the arm. The light goes all the way through. Disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate. How's that feel? Feeling a little lighter? Excellent, excellent. Okay, we're going to do one more. We're going to start at our hip and our well, we'll start like right under our chest and then go all the way down your right or left leg, either leg. All the way down, just cleaning the leg. We're going to do probably about 2 or 3 sweeps.
If you can't bend down, that's completely okay. Just visualize the light from your hands going down, down, down. If you can be standing and just moving your hands lightly and visualizing it going all the way to your feet and out the bottom of the soles of your feet. And
this particular technique is called pranic healing. We had Ellen on a few weeks ago and she did a whole teaching on this. So you can go back to the past videos and watch it if you want. Excellent. Disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate. Let's do the other leg.
Where do we find those past videos?
You know what? I'll give you the YouTube channel. Okay. And straight down.
Great question.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer on half the videos I'm supposed to know about.
And all the way down. Excellent. Disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate. All right, now we're going to take our big white gloves and we're going to go this way and let's clean the brain. We're going to do about 10 sweeps. Yeah, these are also on my Facebook page on Amy Honey, but they might be harder to find than the YouTube channel. All the way cleaning out that brain, cleaning out the brain. There we go. Disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate. Now let's clean out the ears and the throat, and we're going to bring it down like this. This always feels really good for me, the ears. Excellent. Disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate. Awesome. So this is a technique that's taught by a guy by the name of Master Stephen Coe. And the first time that we went and saw him and learned this, we were both certified in this. Master Coe brought me on stage. and I was part deaf in my right ear. And in about 15, 20 minutes, he completely fixed it. It was wild. And that night we were staying, it was in Oxnard, California, and we couldn't get a room at that location. So we got an Airbnb, which was about a 10-15 minute walk from the place. And there was like a park in the middle. And we were done that night, like 11 o'clock at night. It was kind of late. So we were walking back to our Airbnb. And on the way home, I said to Jamie, because I love to sing and I'm pretty terrible. So, but I still sing like only when he's home, but like nobody else hears me sing, but he hears me sing. And so I'm awful. And so I said, I know this sounds really weird. I said, but I feel like I could sing right now. And Jamie goes, well, you better do it here in the park before we get to the Airbnb because there's a lot of people around and you're loud and terrible. And so it's 11 o'clock at night. So I sat my stuff down and I turned this song on that I love to sing and I sang it. And Jamie was floored. It was as if I had had singing lessons for like 6 months. He's like, you're no Mariah Carey, but
Definite improvement.
definite improvement. So it's pretty wild. This stuff is really, this energy stuff is woo woo, but it is very based in science. And so when you start to learn it, when you're open to it and you start to learn it, then you start to really see it. And, having an experience where I can hear again was pretty life-changing as well. So cool stuff. How you guys feeling?
Very good. I was
Awesome.
to say last time when we did, I kind of try to become like a practice every day because I'm always so stressed out during the day in the at work, and then we forget, right? If you don't.
Yeah.
And then I think this past few days, waking up at 2, 3 a.m. I was like, oh my God, I don't like this life. But because it's been so stressful and then probably I'm in my head, I could just have done that.
Yeah.
And then when you text, I was like, I'm so tired. I should go to sleep. I was like, no, I'm gonna go and watch it. I'm glad I came.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did.
Every Wednesday call, and they're all different, right? And I know the next two Wednesdays, though, are Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. So I didn't just want to put that out there before you commit to that. But we can
Yeah.
invite people and just have this experience and keep coming.
Yep.
It's free. Everyone's welcome.
Great.
And
There's the
I've been
YouTube.
coming for the past 3 or 4 weeks, and it's made a large difference for me.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
Glad to hear that. And there's the YouTube channel. It's called Free to Dream Team.
Thank you.
And and we post these on there. And then yeah, we probably won't be here next Wednesday, but maybe we'll do something on a Tuesday night. If we change something, we'll let you guys know, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. But we might do New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve might be a fun one to do, like
To bring in the new year.
bring in a creation for the new year. That might be really
Great.
A
awesome.
bunch of different creative things we
And
could
Barb
do.
has a beautiful following of people of what she does, and her community is incredible. Is this something, I mean, I could see this something that Barb, and she's talking to people, says, hey, and then invites them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Please invite whoever you want. And if you want me to make her a link for that, I'm happy to do that, Andy. If she wants a referral link for that or anything like that, that's fine
Oh, yeah,
too.
that'd be great.
I wanted one, and I've invited somebody every week since then. So I was like, yeah, sure. When you send it to me, I'm like, yeah, whatever. And yet here I am. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a nice follow-up to Shiraz Babo's
Oh yeah.
New Year's Eve event that's happening earlier that day.
Right. Cool. Yeah, it might be fun. Maybe we'll do vision boards or something, or vision boxes or something like that. We'll create for.
I've got this ancient Australian practice where you cover yourself in honey and do interpretive dance. Maybe we could do that one.
No.
Oh wow, several people have turned their camera off already. This is weird.
I'm intrigued. I think you may just be saying BS. It sounds like fun to me anyway.
E goes in for anything.
Almost everything. I do have my limits and boundaries. Oh,
Awesome.
also, when it comes to vision boards, one of the things to actually make it more effective is putting yourself in the picture. Because if you just have a picture of what you want, but you don't see yourself in it, your mind says, "Oh, I already have that," and you won't actually attract it. So if you put yourself in the picture, like being at the home or with a car or with whoever, that's the signal to your unconscious mind. Go after that.
Yep.
You know what
Well,
I did? I actually photoshopped myself in with a speaker that I wanted to work with, and I am working with him next month.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool beans.
Yeah.
In fact, we did some training many, many years ago. Actually, one of the events that where I first met Amy, um, with Dr. Joe Dispenza and whatnot, and we actually did a creation thing, but you actually drew it on a little card with crayons. And we were just getting married at that point in time. We're like, oh, we need to buy a house. Amy drew a house, and she is, as much as she is a singer, she is an artist. Let me just put it But she drew this little brown house with a chimney and a purple door and a woodpecker and some little red flowers out the front
And trees,
and
forest.
trees. Like it was you could have put it up with the kindergarten pictures and it would be a hit and miss as to who drew which one. Anyway,
Jamie's like, what's that? I go, oh, that's a woodpecker.
I'm like, really? It's more like a T-Rex attacking a baby wombat, but okay, I'll take your word for it. The interesting thing was several months later, we bought a house and Amy was walking and we had 8 acres of property outside, and it was a little brown house that this couple had made themselves. So it was a little log cabin kind of thing. And it actually had a purple door. And out front were these flowers that grew up every year, perennials that were little red flowers. They weren't there when we bought it, but in spring, all of a sudden there was red flowers. Amy was walking the road just outside our house, and she was looking at a woodpecker, and she looked past the woodpecker at the house, and there was red flowers and a purple door, and she goes, "Oh my God, this is
It was the
exactly
exact image, and the chimney was exactly where I drew it.
on the same
Wow.
side of the house."
On the same side of the house I drew it on. Like it was like exact. Like, and the crazy thing was it was in Washington State, but Jamie and I was living in Hawaii. I drew that house in Hawaii.
Yep.
Yeah. Like
And it
months
was,
before we bought
yep,
it.
Wow.
yep.
Yeah.
So I have seen immense number of what people would call coincidences or weird circumstances. Just as many times as I've seen cars on the road, I've seen these experiences. Everyone accepts cars because everyone accepts cars. But these other experiences, not everyone accepts them because they haven't had as much exposure to those potentials. And yet I'm lucky enough to have seen them and know this works. And I'm very grateful that you all showed up for us to share some of this knowledge, as well as give you some tidbits to help you improve the quality of your life and for those loved ones around you as well.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. We're super honored that you spent the time to spend with us. We're always
And
honored.
I signed up for the text reminder, so this is perfect.
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome.
Perfect. Very good. Cool. All right. Well, we'll see you guys in probably 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have happy holidays.
Happy holidays.